passionate about impacting young lives with eternal truth. Mark Boughan, Dr. Mark Boughan, is Academic Dean of the College at Heritage College and Seminary in Cambridge, Ontario. And you shouldn't be here because this is the busiest day of the year.
This is registration day, and I'm going to have a lineup outside my office when I return.
And full house?
We hope so. We'll see, by God's grace.
Pretty special. One of only 2 real Bible colleges in Ontario.
Yep, just 2 of us left. We work very, very closely with our friends at Emmanuel as well.
Emmanuel's in Kitchener.
And Emmanuel's in Kitchener. But we believe that it's a movement that has a lot of potential for the future as well. Very important for the church in Canada as part of the Christian higher education movement.
Now, we want to go to this subject, but I'm sorry, there's an elephant in the room.
Okay.
The Three Stooges.
Yes.
How did you grow up with those funny guys? And for Jim, you have to tell us which one was your favorite.
All right. Knew them because my father was in show business. The quartet he was in, the Mariners, was well known in the late 40s, early 50s on television, Arthur Godfrey Show, regular exposure. And so, though I was the youngest in the family, our family got to receive Christmas presents on nationwide TV in the U.S. I don't remember that. I was too young. The others all remember seeing, for our older viewers, Fury, Flicka, Rin Tin Tin. They got to meet all the big names. Wow. But for me, the biggest names of all were getting to meet the Three Stooges and spend a little bit of time with them. And there's no question, if you see the characters on screen, the characters that were on screen are pretty much the characters they had. Mo blew cigar smoke in my face, but Larry held me on his lap and told me stories. So Larry is the man for me.
Wow, what an interesting background. You could have been a New York City kid.
I could have been, and I could talk like that, but I don't talk like that no more because that's a long time ago in the past there.
God intervened in your dad's life, and that turned the course for the whole family.
My dad had been a Christian as a young boy, got into the glitz of show business and left God behind, and then as music styles changed and God began working in his life, he came back to the Lord and received a phone call that ended up bringing him to Hamilton, working at then Harbor Rescue Mission, now Mission Services of Hamilton, helping the guys on the street, and brought us to Canada into ministry. And I remember growing up around the mission as well and spending lots of time with the boys off the street.
But it was at the age of 17.
I only accepted Christ when I was 17. I've resisted him. I said, I don't want to believe in a God that I can't trust intellectually as well. I said, it's got to make sense to me. Mm-hmm. So God, you may be there, but stay away from me until I have it in my head that you're who you say you are. And
so how did he accomplish that for you?
My family was out of town one weekend, and I felt that I had to go to church, which was very odd. And so I went to church, even though I didn't have to. The pastor spoke that Sunday about the intellectual credibility of the gospel, blew me away, and on the back steps of the church, I said, okay, God, I give in. I give in. I guess I'm a Christian now. What do you want me to do with my life? I'm 17. And it was almost like I heard an audible voice, Bible college. I didn't know what a Bible college was. But I had to go to Bible college, and 3 months later, there I was in Toronto, then Ontario Bible College, trying to figure out what a Bible college was and what God wanted to do with my life.
And you have quite an academic track here. A Bachelor of Theology at OBC, a BA in Psychology from the University of Waterloo, an M.Ed from Acadia University, and then MDiv from Acadia Divinity School. You got hooked. Yeah,
and then finished the doctorate, and now I got my union card.
And you're passionate about Christian higher education. And in some ways, it's in trouble in this country.
It's in a lot of trouble. And that is the saddest thing. People say they're in favor of it, but they don't want their children to go there because it's not secure enough. And that is one of the saddest things that's happening. We talk to parent after parent, because parents come with their young people now, and they say, but will my child get a good job? And they may or they may not by your standards. But what we want to know is your child being faithful to Christ? And it doesn't have to be a Bible college, Christian liberal arts institution, wherever they want you to go. And that's not saying there's anything against secular institutions as well. I've attended those. But if God has a call in your child's life, if they need to learn about who God is so they will be strong in whatever profession they're going into, then let them go and let them learn. And that is one of the biggest frustrations right now, is that this drive for security as opposed to wondering what faithfulness means.
The call of God.
The call of God.
I remember when I was a new Christian and being called out of broadcasting to Christian education, and a wise pastor said, you have to go and get your plaque for the wall. And there are realities in terms of both the churches and missions, in terms of what they're looking for in young people today. That's a shifting picture as well.
It is a shifting picture, and especially in churches, there's an increasing tendency towards master's degrees, and that's why places like Heritage and other Bible colleges, and certainly have seminaries, and then there's standalone seminaries as well that are excellent institutions. The Bible college movement in Canada specifically has been doing some very interesting things. It's not, there was a commercial, it's not your father's Oldsmobile. Well, it's not your father's Bible college anymore. In terms of the programs, you have Columbia doing early childhood education. You have Prairie doing nursing and medicine. You have Heritage doing family life education and social services. All extensions of the arm of the church, things the church did for 2,000 years, and in the last 50 years got away from. And we believe in training young people for God's calling back into these professions as well, with a solid biblical and Christian foundation.
Now, there are families and young people who very much want to have that biblical foundation before they go into the lion's den of secular education and the assaults that'll be waiting for them there. But they're concerned about relevance, and I guess it breaks down to being able to transfer, in some cases, the time and the money invested to further education.